Hello, my name is Andy Rivenis. I'm a product manager for database and memory, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the base level feature. This is something we introduced in 21c, and we've backported to 19c. So I thought it would be nice to go over some of the details associated with the base level feature. So the database and memory base level feature allows you to use up to a 16 gigabyte in-memory column store without having to license the database and memory option. So this is something that a lot of customers have asked for. It's a good way to see the value of database and memory without having to license it. So we first introduced this in the 20.3 pre-release, and now in 21c, and then we backported it to the 19c in the 19.8 release update. So customers both in 19c and 21c and moving forward can take advantage of the base level feature, which again allows them to have a 16 gigabyte column store without having to license the database and memory feature. It's still database and memory. Almost everything associated with database and memory still works the same. I'll talk a little bit about that. Bottom line is you set the in-memory underscore force parameter to base level, and then you're limited to an in-memory size of up to 16 gigabytes. Feature tracking is changed so that if you're audited, they'll know that you're using the base level feature and not the full in-memory column store feature. So you don't have to have database and memory license to take advantage of this. Notice here I've shortened my in-memory area so that you're limited to just 16 gig, whereas with the full database and memory option, you can have as large a column store as you have memory in your database server. So again, in-memory force set to base level. For folks on 20.3 or 21c, the base level feature will work within the CDB. The CDB level, since non-CDB installs won't be supported in 21c. And so you set in-memory force base level. You can set it at the PDB level, but it's ignored. And then for 19c, the backport supports both non-CDB installs as well as CDB installs. Once you've set that, once you set it to in-memory force, then on a CDB environment, each of the PDBs can use up to the total of the CDB's 16 gigabytes of column store. So it's not 16 gigabytes per PDB, but it's 16 gigabytes across all PDBs that run within that CDB. What's also interesting is on rack, we support for each 16 gigabytes for each instance of rack. So you can actually scale out to larger than 16 gigabytes by setting up the column store to 16 gigabytes per rack node in the cluster. So per instance in the cluster, you could have 16 gigabytes total, and then each of the PDBs can use up to the total of 16 gigabytes for each of those CDBs. Hopefully that's clear. Exclusions. So there are a few. We're only supporting memcompress for query low. If you set a different compression level, we'll just ignore it. We'll use a memcompress for query low. So typically, that's like a 2x compression rate. So that's still pretty good. We're not supporting excluding columns. So if you say in memory, alter table in memory sale or alter table sales in memory, and then you say no in memory and give it a list of column exclusions, we'll ignore those. So we won't honor excluded columns in the column store population. AIM is disabled, so automatic in memory feature we introduced in 18c and we've now enhanced in 21c. That's not allowed with the base level feature. And then the cell memory feature on Exadata is also not allowed or not honored with the base level enabled. So you can't, if you're on Exadata, you can't take advantage of database and memory columnar formats in Flash with the base level feature. You can only use that with the full database and memory option. I mentioned feature tracking, so at the base, it's identified as in-memory base level so that it's clear that it's not the full database and memory option, and the base level feature is not available on authorized cloud environments. So other than that, everything else works. The Exadata database and memory features work on Exadata with the base level feature, things like active data guard, and then all the other features of database and memory, join groups, in-memory expressions, all of that's available as part of the base level feature, as well as obviously the full database and memory option. Where can you get more information? Our blog is available, the resources page. We have technical articles. We also have links to all things database and memory. And then I've also included a slide with the highlighted links that you can use to get more information about database and memory. Thank you very much.